For this video, I'm going to go over how you can use models to multiply fractions. All right, so a model is, a visual representation or image to represent your mathematical thinking. So here's the problem. Garrett and Savvy cut 4/5 of the lawn before the rain. Garrett cut 2/3 of 4/5. How much grass did he cut? How much did Savvy cut? All right, so I've created a model here to represent the lawn. I've divided the lawn into fifths, right? We see 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. We know from the question that Garrett and Savvy were able to cut 4/5 of the lawn before the rain. And I've represented that with color. Then the question asks, Garrett cut 2/3 of 4/5. So how much grass did he cut? How much did Savvy cut? Okay. So then I created another model to represent the lawn. I divided it into fifths. You can see them there, right? And I've labeled them along the side. But I'm trying to figure out 1/3 of 4/5. So I'm trying to figure out a fraction of a fraction. So I look at the lawn and I've already divided it into 5 equal parts, but I need to divide it into thirds because I'm looking for 2/3. So I take the entire whole and I divide it into thirds, which you can see going this way. There's 1/3, there's another 1/3, there's another 1/3. And I know that Garrett cut 2/3 of 4/5. So I'm going to focus on the 4/5 that were cut, which is this, and then I'm going to focus on the thirds. So I can see 1/3, another 1/3, and another 1/3. And I know that he cut 2/3. So I'm going to shade in 2/3 represented by the blue. Now, I know I can count up how many parts that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But my whole has changed, right? Because I have divided the lawn into smaller parts. So I've got to figure out how many parts that is. Well, I know if I divided it this way into fifths, and I divided it this way into thirds, I've done an array model, right? There's 3 this side, there's 5 this side. I multiply 3 multiplied by 5, it gets 15. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So my new denominator is 15 because I've divided the whole into 15 equal parts. And I can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that Garrett cut 8/15. So here it is here. 2/3 of 4/5 equals 8/15. There's a question here. What do you notice? Do you notice a relationship between these two numbers and this number? What about these two numbers and this number? Yes. If I multiply 2 multiplied by 4, it equals 8. If I multiply 3 by 5, it gets 15. And some of us know, when we see of in a mathematical statement, it often means multiply. 2/3 multiplied by 4/5 equals 8/15. All right, so we know that Garrett cut 8/15. So we know they cut 4/5 together. So this remaining fraction here must be how much Savvy cut. So Savvy cut 1, 2, 3, 4/15. And the amount remaining was the amount that no one cut, 3/15. I can confirm my answer by adding those fractions together. 8/15 plus 4/15 plus 3/15. 8 plus 4 gets 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15/15, which equals 1 whole. All right, let's try another. All right. A school planted a vegetable and flower garden. 3/10 of the garden was planted by class 802. 7/8 of their section was a Three Sisters garden, which is made up of beans, squash, and corn. How much of the total garden was beans, squash, and corn? All right, so I've created a model to represent the garden. I know that it's divided into tenths, so you can see those here. 1/10, 1/10, 1/10, 1/10 down here. And I know that 802 is responsible for 3/10 of the garden, so I've identified those there with the color orange. And now I'm going to try to figure out, I know that 7/8 of this section is a Three Sisters garden. So I'm trying to figure out how much of the total garden is beans, squash, and corn. So take a moment right now, create a model, and see if you can figure out 7/8 of 3/10. using a model. Okay, so here's how I got started. I drew my model of the garden. I divided it into tenths because I know the garden has been divided into tenths, and I've labeled that over here, right? So if I count down here, I have 10 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know that 3/10 has been planted by class 802, and I've colored that in orange here. Now the question is 7/8 of the 3/10. So 7/8 of this section is the Three Sisters garden. So using my model, it's divided into 10 parts on this side. I'm going to divide it into 8 parts on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I'm just going to focus on the area, the fraction of the whole that is about that 802 has planted, right? The 3/10. And I'm looking for 7/8 of 3/10. So I can see that it's divided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I know that 7/8 is the Three Sisters garden. So I can label that with my color. So what will be my new denominator, or the number of equal parts the garden has been divided into? Originally it was divided into tenths. What will it be divided into now? It is 80 parts, because if I have divided it by 10 into 10 equal parts over this way and 8 equal parts this way, 10 multiplied by 8 gets me 80. Okay? And I know that 802, 7/8 of 3/10 is 21 parts. I know that because it's 3 this way. I know that it's 8 this way, but this last row is not planted with the Three Sisters, so I subtract 1, so it becomes 3 multiplied by 7, which gets me 21. So 7/8 of 3/10 equals 21/80. Again, I can confirm 7 multiplied by 3 gets me 21. 8 multiplied by 10 gets me 80. So here is using models to multiply fractions.